Hello YouTube, this is Michael B. the Game Genie, and this is my January update of my NES Complete Collection Chronicles. Alright guys, so before I show you what I added to my collection this month, let me show you some other things I picked up. A little while ago I got a call from one of my really good friends, and he was at his pool league, and one of his buddies there was looking to possibly sell some games. And he had some boxed NES games that he was looking to unload, and he was going to let them go at a good price. So my friend asked me how much he willing to pay for them. I made an offer. He countered. I thought it was more than fair. So even though I didn't need these games, it's nice to actually have them in their box complete. So I picked up these 5 games, and they are Dick Tracy. I absolutely loved the movie. Not the game, but I love the movie. Actually, if I can go up to my parents' house and find these, I had every single toy that came out from the Dick Tracy movie franchise. These toys were really cool too. They were made by the same company that made the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle toys, so they're around the same size and stature, and they were very well detailed, very well put together. I really enjoyed the toys. There wasn't much of a set. Basically, I think there was somewhere around 16 different toys you could collect and 2 different vehicles. But anyways, if I get a chance, I'll go up to my parents' house and see if I can find all my old Dick Tracy toys. You guys remember the McDonald's competition they had where you had to find Lips Mahoney, and if you found him you won $1 million? I went nuts about that contest. I was in McDonald's every single day. Maybe that's why I ended up being a fat kid. The next box game I picked up was Bugs Bunny and Crazy Castle. I actually never had this growing up, but I had the Game Boy version of it, and I actually really like the Game Boy version of it. Anyways, it's a cool box to have. The next is Roger Rabbit. So this is another movie I absolutely loved. I still love and watch today, but the game, not so much a fan of. But anyways, it's really cool to have this game in my collection now boxed. I really love the old LJN boxes too. I always thought they were really cool. We had this really cheap store here called Byway, and for some reason Byway would always have discount games on sale, and they were always the LJN games. It just, every time I see this box, it reminds me of that store Byway. Speaking of Roger Rabbit, when I was a kid, I could never get to the end of the movie. The scene with Christopher Lloyd at the end, you know, Christopher Lloyd, the doc from Back to the Future, he played the bad guy in this movie. And when he actually became the cartoon bad guy, sorry if I'm spoiling this for anybody who didn't see it, where his eyes became the big red cartoon eyes, and he talked really shrill with a voice like this. I can't do the voice, but anyways, that used to freak me out. It still gives me willies today when I watch that scene. I'm like, woo! Anyways, I got a box copy of Roger Rabbit. Now, the other 2 games that I got are also LJN games, and they may be familiar to some of you guys. So the last 2 box games I picked up were Back to the Future and Back to the Future Part 2 and 3. You ask, why would these be familiar? Because I actually just completed a review of both these games. If you want to find out what I thought of both the games, and really, it's not like one of my typical reviews. I try to do a lot of really bad acting, which I can't do, but I tried because I want to do a little homage to Back to the Future. So anyways, I tried. It's not perfect because basically I did it over the span of 3 days. I didn't sleep for 3 days, but I tried, and anyways, I'd love for you guys to go check it out, and I hope you enjoy it. It's not perfect, not as polished as like a review you'd see from like one of the people I'm a fanboy for, like Pat the NES Punk or the Angry Video Game Nerd, but hey, you know, I was happy with it, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Anyways, Back to the Future 1 and Back to the Future Parts 2 and 3 box. Huge fan of the movies, so I'm excited to own these games. You may notice something else about this assortment of box games. Every single one of these games was in an Angry Video Game Nerd review. And that's the first thing I said. When he came over and showed me the stack of the 5 box games, I was like, watch a little AVGN, do you? Alright guys, so on to the actual collection now. These are all new games that I'm adding to my collection. First of which is actually another box game. This is actually going to show up in one of my game pickups from New Adventure Island videos later on. But I picked up a stack of, basically, I picked up one Super Nintendo game, I think it was 5 or 6 Sega Genesis games, complete in their clamshells, and then I picked up this NES game boxed, and I'm very excited to have it. Surprised I didn't have it, but I picked up Volleyball. Yeah, I didn't have Black Box Volleyball, and I love getting the Black Box games. I'm not really going to try to complete every game in box. I know Mr. Mailbag is doing it. He's got like over 100. I got about 45 box NES games, which is pretty cool, but that's not necessarily something that I'm looking for. What ends up happening is, like, I'll come across a game like Gremlins 2 or Akari Warriors 3, and I really want it, but it's in its box, so I don't really have much of a choice there. I'm not going to say, okay, well, take $1 off and I'll leave you the box. No thanks, right? So anyways, I did really good on this. Picked it up in box for $7 or $8, which is a lot more than I know most people would pay, but he had it, and the guy I bought it off, he's a really nice guy, and I don't mind supporting him, so NES Volleyball. Anyways, excited to have it. So a little later on, I haven't been doing a whole lot of collecting in January because my wife pretty much gave me a cease and desist order from buying any video games because apparently I'm supposed to be paying for her to go to law school and all that stuff, so I haven't been collecting a whole lot. But I still look around, and if I come across something that I need and it's a good price, I'm going to pick it up. So I went into the Pawn Shop Traders there a little while ago. It was about a week and a half ago, and they had some NES games there, $2.50 a piece, and they were all games I needed. Yes, sure, they're filler games, but anyways, I was excited to pick them up. One isn't a filler game, one's a game I want to try. And the first of which is Circus Caper. Now, I have never played Circus Caper, so I have no idea what it's going to be like, but it looks like, hopefully, it's a platformer. We'll see. Anyways, realistically, out of the games I picked up at the pawn shop, it's the only one that I'm excited to put in and play now. Next to which is Baseball Simulator 1000. I actually used to rent this game all the time when I was a kid. I absolutely loved it. I don't know why, but this was probably my favorite baseball game growing up on the NES. Probably because it was the only one that I had. I think a kid on the road had it, and I used to borrow it off him all the time. So anyways, it's got a battery backup, so I guess it saves seasons. I saw that in another video. Anyways, I'm rambling here. Baseball Simulator 1000, now part of my collection. Next up is another addition to the Bases Loaded series. I picked up Bases Loaded 3. Now, the thing I find really funny about this, the first two Bases Loaded games, they were pretty decent, but this is the first one they actually had any kind of celebrity or sports star. That guy right there is Ryne Sandberg. Now, I'm sure anybody that's my age will absolutely remember him, but the kids won't. Ryne Sandberg was everything that is baseball when I was a kid. Like, he was the big star back in the 80s, around the time I first started watching baseball, so I saw Bases Loaded 3 there in the case, and I said, whoa, geez, I absolutely need that game. Then I saw Ryne Sandberg, and I just started thinking to myself, like, wow, that brings back so many memories. Anyways, Bases Loaded 3. I now have Bases Loaded 1, 2, 3. So, another game to the collection. So guys, that's pretty much about it. I did pick up one other game, but I already have it. This looks like it's a better copy than the one I already have, actually, because I have a little bit of label damage on the first one, and that is Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. So, anyways, I got a better copy of Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. It'll look good in the collection. What? What's everybody looking at? It's just Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. Yeah, guys, I'm only joking. I knew what it was. What actually happened was, I go to this flea market pretty much every Sunday, and the guy there, I've never given him my list, but he pretty much knows everything I have right now, so I don't even have to look at the games. I walk up and he's like, nothing for you this week. So anyways, we got into a conversation one day and he started talking about, you'll never believe what I found the other day. This guy was selling a load of Nintendo games, so I went to his house and he had like no common titles. It was all the sequels, all the 2s. So he had like RC Pro-Am 2, he had Baseball Stars 2, he had DuckTales 2, and of course he had Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers 2. So instead of being the great guy that I should be and just saying, wow, you know, congratulations, good for you, I immediately started hounding him. I was like, what do you need those games for anyways? Like, you're not really even a collector. I mean, you pretty much told me you only keep the games that you play. You're never going to play DuckTales 2 or Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers 2. You should just sell them to me. Didn't bite. He didn't bite the first week, the second week, the third week, the fourth week, the fifth week, the sixth week, the seventh week. Didn't bite. Then finally, the last flea market before it closed down over Christmas, I walk in there and he sits at a table with his mother, and I saw his mother with the giant, like, Cheshire grin, right? Cheshire cat grin. And anyways, I walk up to him and he pulls his game out from behind the counter. He didn't even have it out. And here it was, Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Ranger 2. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not this cool guy that picked this up for $3. I paid for it. I paid $80, which, if I'm not mistaken, that's right around eBay.ca prices. I've seen it a little bit cheaper, but not much, and I've seen it a lot more expensive too. So anyways, you know, happy birthday to me. I just spent a whack of money, but anyways, I'm excited to have this. I love the original Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers. This one, I don't care what anybody says. A lot of people say, oh, it doesn't have the same mystique or feel. I love it. I think it's just as good, if not better. I just really enjoy it. So anyways, very excited to add Chip 'n Dale's Rescue Rangers 2 to my collection. So guys, if you're counting, that's 5 new games. Last time I was at $379, plus 5 new games, that brings me up to $384. It's getting a little bit slower. I'm getting up there in the collection, there's not as much around, and to be honest, I just don't have as much money. My wife's away in law school, and hey, someone's got to foot the bill. But I'm going to keep my eye out, and hopefully I'll have a bigger month next month. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed. This is Michael B. the Game Genie, and I'll talk to you next time. Sometimes some crimes go slipping through the cracks, and these 2 gumshoes are picking up the slack. There's no case too big, no case too small. When you need help, just call Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. Chip 'n Dale when in danger.